The breaking news over the last few weeks is focused on Donald Trump's criminal indictment in Georgia and his alleged illegal efforts to subvert the election in 2020. But we've got to pay attention to what Republicans are doing right now to legally suppress the vote in 2024. In June, Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott signed a law passed by the Republican legislature that would abolish the county elections administrator in counties in Texas with more than 4 million residents, which means that the law applies to just one county in Texas, Harris County, home to 5 million people, 60% of whom are black or Hispanic and 56% of whom voted for Joe Biden in 2020. On Tuesday, the Republican-controlled Texas Supreme Court ruled that Harris County has to disband its elections office by September 1st and give the state Republican Secretary of State oversight of the county's elections. That's despite the fact that Harris County is scheduled to argue against the law's constitutionality to the Texas Supreme Court at the end of November. Harris's county attorney says it's illegal for Texas Republicans to pass a law that applies only to one county. So this Republican-passed law might be illegal, but Harris County has to dismantle its elections administrator's office ahead of the Texas Supreme Court hearing its appeal in November anyway. And while 2023 is not a presidential election year, voters are concerned that the county's not going to be prepared to oversee voting in local races in this November's election. Joining us now is the Democratic Congressman Colin Allred of Texas. He's also running to unseat the Republican Senator Ted Cruz in the 2024 Senate election. Good to see you again, Representative Allred. Let's just talk about this. This is a law that was passed not naming Harris County, saying any Texas county of this size can't run its elections. What's the basis for that?
Yeah. Well, thanks, Sally. I'm coming to you. And I just want to say this is clearly a violation of the Texas Constitution. And the Texas Constitution prohibits the legislature, as you said, from passing any law that could only apply to one county. And here they just set a population limit and that only applies to one county. So to me, it's clearly a violation. And it's going to require Harris County to shift the elections administration function to the county clerk and to the tax assessor, folks who have not done this and who don't know how to do this. And so what it's really about, I think, is causing chaos and difficulty in our biggest and most diverse county in our state, also a Democratic county, and one that has had a major impact on recent statewide elections.
What's the ostensible excuse for it? As these Republicans go out to their constituents and someone says, hey, why would you pass this law that only applies to Harris County? Or why would you pass a law that has a population floor of 4 million people? What's their response? Why is that necessary?
Well, I think they will say that they think there were some irregularities in the elections in Harris County. But what it really is about is that Harris County is growing incredibly quickly, that's incredibly diverse, and that they are trying to target it because the numbers coming out of it in terms of the number of voters is impacting and showing them that they have to worry about what's happening there in terms of there being too good a voter turnout. And so this is a long-running story that we've had here in Texas. Ali, as I think you know, I'm a voting rights lawyer.
Yep.
This is something that we've been dealing with here for some time, which is that whenever we see some progress being made, the state legislature often tries to step in and take us backwards.
Let's talk about the legality of it, because you're a voting rights lawyer. At this point, the Texas Supreme Court is allowing the Texas government to go ahead with this, and yet there is a hearing that is scheduled for November. What's the difference between the two of them?
Well, they'll allow it to go forward, but let's just say this. Once Harris County takes down their elections administration office, they're not going to bring it back. And so it's until they are sure that they're going to be able to do it within the limits of this law as it's being applied. So it's likely that it won't just apply to this municipal election that's coming up. It also, I think, applies to the election next November in the presidential year. And so that's a concern. At least we'll have some more time in Harris County to get those offices that have not been doing this function up to speed for the presidential election. But it's going to certainly have an impact on what's a very important mayoral election in Houston. And so we'll see what the Supreme Court does, but it's unlikely, unless they grant this, that we'll see Harris County bring this back.
You know, before those two young men got thrown out of the Tennessee legislature, and before legislators across this country were sort of becoming famous for their activism within the House, you Texas representatives were the OGs on this one. You've tried all sorts of interesting and creative moves to try and hold back the majority from doing anti-democratic things. And while it has set the tone for resistance in this country, for pro-democratic resistance, it hasn't always worked. What works in a case like this? How do you fight this? If the legislature will not do the right thing and the Texas Supreme Court will not do the right thing, how do voters get the right thing done? How does fairness and democracy prevail in Texas?
Yeah. Well, we have to have a backlash. We have to have a backlash to it. We have to have folks understanding what they're trying to do. And, you know, I'm a member of Congress, Sally, and I have worked in the Congress to lead the effort for us to pass the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Act, which would restore the Voting Rights Act and set national standards for early voting, vote by mail, and voter registration, and ban partisan gerrymandering. We've been able to pass that out of the House of Representatives. We've not been able to get it through the Senate. We had 50 votes, but not enough to get past the filibuster. When I beat Ted Cruz and replace him in the United States Senate, we will get this to the Senate, and we will restore the right to vote. And we'll do it by folks in Harris County standing up. This is not the first time they've been targeted, and understanding that they're going to come out in numbers that we've never seen to reject Ted Cruz and help us restore our democracy. And if anyone out there wants to help us do it, please go to colinallred.com. We need your help.
Congressman, good to see you. As always, thank you for being with us tonight. Congressman Colin Allred of Texas.